here's a Uranian Track Society tract, a nice tract that was conversations with Castellanets and different artists. And here's conversation with Claes Oldenburg. And he's talking about a time when the Uranian Alchemy Players had shaped up there through the Judson Gallery and all, but not dramas. We were going to do Frog's Shock Dream, projections in a burning building, a psychodrama rendered in the Artoidian tradition at Judson Church, and well, perform and so forth. And in this track, Claes has some nice things to say. He says an influence from Artaud and certain people who just went that way, like Red Grooms and the Living Theater and Dick Tyler. Tyler, who wasn't as a printmaker, introduced me to Artaud's text, The Theater and Its Double. He was my super at 330 East 4th Street between Avenue C and D, where he lived in the basement. He had his printmaker's press there, and I saw him almost every day. Because as the minister at Judson Memorial Church at that time, Bud Scott, appreciated him very much. Tyler had a cart which he kept in the Judson backyard from which he sold his magic pamphlets. They were about such things as salvation through schizophrenia, all kinds of mind breakers that were then revolutionary but have now become commonplace. He was very interested in theater, and he also had a little group that was among the first to play music at Judson. It was an anti-music that I used to call no music. They would use various instruments in all the wrong ways and play them for hours. Anyway, the story of Dick Tyler is a long one that has not been written. I remember very well a Tyler piece that was never put on, in which the audience at Judson was gathered into a pit. There was supposed to be a stage at one end, and Tyler planned to put a friend of his who had a steel plate in his head from a war injury. That's Buddy Dean and some of the boys that slept in the bunk. He was to sit there tied up, and I had the part of hitting him head with a baseball bat. There are other details I can't remember, but that one sticks with me very clearly because I didn't feel like doing that. At the climax of the piece, bombs would be thrown down at the audience, who would be so terrified and wounded that Tyler expected they would panic. He wanted to do it in the chapel of the church, which at that time was not used for performances, so this was one amongst the reasons why it was not performed. Did his Artoidian concept win much discussion? And Oldenburg answers, I don't think the piece had much circulation, but had a great influence on me. And I think you can see the photographs and so forth. Very nice, close remembrance of it. It wasn't bad. It was like you work out your aggression with the foam bat or something. Oh, yeah, and all. You hit him with the bat and bomb them. They're really going to put an ash can in a tomato or something, and when the wet slop hits you, you'll think your red is blown off. It was about the height. It's all on slides now and recorded, and the soundtrack for it is beautiful. We got a very classy guy to read the thing.
Leopard Frog was judged in apathy to be a mere apparition. First, it was a spinning fiery ball right to the left like a comet. Then a frightened neon sun. Then a geometric flash. I rationalized, and the sun shapes became moon tones, with the ghost breath round and pale in the solid shadow, liquid and upright. I doubted exit was gone. How easily vanished are these metamorphized menaces of circular direction. Members with revolvers sweep through crowds trapped in burning buildings. This is the oracle received from Goatweed while running at random around the experimental room in trance. Like rage and fear, every factor forms fear of the future is painful panic, a constant undercurrent of apprehension. Relaxed, probed, dozed, and drowsy in the dream father on the edge of the street, or a streetcar lying on his mother, united with his wife, bleeding and terrified in menacing danger. He tried to work his guilt out of awareness with ritual ceremony. But vivid visions appeared to distract him. Unfathomable forces operating in chaos. Elaborate and private, compelling control. and influence implanted in me. I can't get anything through. Pompous, bedraggled, painted turtle. His hallucinatory voices themselves replace him actively complete.
Hospital corners and bars impose a futile clamor on many full of goals or intestines high radial hands. I can no longer control my actions, nor escape the threatening forces directed against me. I am outside myself. Nothing seems real. Nothing seems real.
The pushcart again, and this is the original pushcart from 1959 when we were in the Judson churchyard. The apprentice boys, the original ones, we were doing the Elizabethan ballads. This is a nice broadside from those days that we took out and plastered around all over the village on Elizabethan ballads. Merrily and cheerily, let's drink off our beer. Let who as will run for it. We will stay here. To the tune of This Will Restore My Maidenhead Again, or The Fits Come On Me Now. The black letter broadside ballad of the 16th and 17th century and the chapbook of the 18th century have been described as the literature of the illiterate, enjoyed by a populace of elementary taste and childlike intelligence. The chapbook, with its grand and naive treatment of myth and legend, illustrated with fantastic woodcuts, was highly prized in Queen Anne's time. And the Uranian press is perpetuating these works from the originals in the rare book division of the New York Public Library, reissuing them in limited editions with original artwork by the press masters and apprentices, and presenting contemporary poetry in the Elizabethan image by the noted ballad maker Ralph Mucklefoot. And that's Mucklefoot Miscellany. That's that beautiful folio of woodcut poetry. And he made a folkways record where we read Chaucer, Mucklefoot did. And these ballads are handset and printed by Apprentice Boy, and tradition functions as a Chapman in their sale and distribution. And the broadsides are a mere 25 and 35 cents, a price comparable to the penny sheets of the 16th century and issued in folios in limited edition. And obtained at the Book Barrow on 239 Thompson Street in the Judson churchyard off Washington Square South. And that's where we were set up. You see those pictures of it there on the Statue of Liberty? Set up in the churchyard. And Ben Jonson has written of the joys of imbibing in a room ornamented with ballads, and Martin Parker, the most famous of the century ballad makers, a true tale of Robin Hood, said many children never would have learned to read had they not taken delight in poring over Jane Shore and Robin Hood, and improving themselves more in a short time than they would have some years in school. If in doubt, hang them in the water closet and follow the advice of a 16th century ballad monger who said better than reading such senseless farces to take his paper and wipe their arses. And then merrily and cheerily, drink off our wine, keep thy head on thy shoulders, and I will keep mine. That's a 16th century honest ballad. And we followed all that traditional stuff, plastered these all over, and we were over there in the pushcart. And here's the statement of the press up here. Great press. For namesake Uranus, planetary ruler of the Aquarian age, is contained in the logotype UP. Revolutionary Uranus was first found at the time of the Declaration of Independence, with its American attitude on a free press, and not until the censors were abolished by the English Revolution of 1688 was there truly liberty of the press. Writing on the term as adopted in this country, the difference between liberty and license, Tom Paine states in the American Citizen 1806 that the abolition of the office of government imprimatur made printing free from prior restraint, with responsibility for printed matter lying on the press, the public, and in case of prosecution, a jury of the country. Highly developed mechanization of printing methods has flooded our materialistic society with a monstrous amount of popular printed matter consisting in great part of meticulous mercantilism and scurrilous vanity, which is not to be saved from mediocrity by technological proficiency. The same failings are apparent in the graphic art field, where the cult of the faultless technician seldom sustains the imaginative power, while the art presses are only too often concerned with the pedantical preciousness. Methinks the case sadder, as the creative artist should know the difference between liberty and license, and who among the emasculated plate polishers could call himself the peer of the popular artist Posada, and how many art presses follow the socialist sentiments of William Morris, who preferred plainness, even rudeness, to corrupt or insincere forms of graphic art. It is again the age of the outlaw press, the bandit and fugitive press, with underground activity that shall accelerate the age, as truly these are the times that try men's souls. Publisher, New York City, 1962. And there we have it, and there we... Here's one for you. Dear Mr. Tyler, thank you for sending me your poetry, drawings, wit, and wisdom. You're doing wonderful things, and have provided many cheerful hours for us, and we are sending you in exchange a free subscription to the Psychedelic Review. I apologize that this has not come up to your standards, but we are doing the best we can, and with your production as a target, let's keep in touch. Sincerely, Timothy Leary, Ph.D., President. How about that? Right, there you go. I kept touch with him here and there, roam around the world. Oh, my God, whatever his fortunes are. Some of them know through somebody on the space station or whatever. Well, we went to Smithsonian there. Smithsonian give me, they always like the Smithsonian. They gave me a nice show in the Smithsonian Institute. Might be something referred to. Yes, sir. United States National Museum, the Division of Graphic Arts, announces a special exhibition of woodcuts by Richard O. Tyler in 1955 in the Smithsonian Building. Talk about the tattooing. When you see some of these things that I'm wearing here, these are sacred mantras. And you see that's the kind of tattooing I do, religious tattooing. And being a Tibetan Buddhist, I put this on. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's how that mantra goes. This is the king of mantras. And we put it on you at an auspicious time, and you could have a chart and the rest of it. And the placement of it. Medical tattoos, and we're using Buddhist medicine right from the Dalai Lama's hospital in Dharamsala, India, where I had the good fortune to obtain from a pilgrim on the Hashish Trail one of their early calendars, the Tibetan Lama's people medical center, and my outfit has put out religious calendars for some years. You saw that when we were looking at the Assassin's Kit, all the line of calendars from whenever we started in 59 or 60. And I sent off a calendar there and asked for some information on metaphysical medicine and made a nice package to send it on, and they answered right back faster than mail comes from the Bronx. It takes 5 days. If you make the mistake of mailing on your way back from work, send on your way to work, and you're only trying to get 34th Street, I'll tell you it's 5 days from the Bronx. Told 2 ways about it. This stuff got back and over there, the hospital and back in. Well, it was 14 days, whatever. Yes, we have just what you require and so on and so on. But here's the sheets again. If you got this mantra, great protected mantra, this was in Gurdjieffian terms what's known as an escape map. Gurdjieff talked many times about escape from prison and a group and the pass beyond, what have you. But this will do this. This mantra will carry you right through the next life and give you great merit and what have you. These people run a control on that. Om represents the way of universality, and Mani the way of unity and equality with all beings. Padma the way of unfolding vision, and Hum the way of integration. Mani the way of unity and equality with all beings. Padma the way of unfolding vision, and Hum the way of integration. The mere utterance of this mystic formula is believed to stop the cycle of rebirths and convey the recited directly to paradise. Thus it is stated in the Manakaibam with extravagant rhapsody that this formula is the essence of all happiness, prosperity, knowledge, and the great means of deliverance. Om Ara Bhakra Nadahai Om Mani Padme Hum. Release all planetary prisoners. Up Atlantean survivors. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om, I invoke the path and experience of universality. Mani, so that the jewel-lined luminescence of my immortal mind, Padme, be unfolded in the depth of the lotus center of awakened consciousness. Hum, and I be wafted by the ecstasy of breaking through all bonds and horizons. Om Mani Padme Hum. May we be blessed with the boon of the divine healing gift rays, and do dedicate all merit accruing from a correct performance of the ceremonial unreservedly to the end that all sentient beings be led to freedom. Om Ma Hum. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be away from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all sentient beings never be separated from the great happiness that is sorrowless. May all leave attachment to dear ones and aversion to others, and live believing in the equality of all that lives. So Mani Padme Hum. In the Buddha, his teachings in the order most excellent, I take by refuge till enlightenment is reached. By merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all that lives. So Mani Padme Hum. Illustrated comrades, brothers and sisters, friends and guests of the First New York Gnostic Lyceum, we're gathered to the temple for a simultaneous celebration of two May holidays. May 1st, the Beltane May Day Root Master Druidic New Year. That was Sunday, and there was a lot of activity here. There was a movie going on, which you'll notice we're having an educational film made here, training film. And at midnight, when the Wesak will be officially 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll light the bonfire out the back. And for the Beltane, which is a fire ceremony, we'll see if anybody wants to jump the fire, set up a rocket, and a little parade around the back and back in again. And there'll be some food up and tea back there. And we'll use the planetary hour system the way we usually play. Roger and Bill, and they've come in and been practicing regularly and holding sectional rehearsal stuff, and it's really been nice. It looks like the band's moving along. I hear a lot of the All-Stars are coming tonight. Perry's coming. Perry Robinson's coming. And Daddy Baer is here.
Get that horn out.
For a long time, the plan with this band has been to try to lay over holiday, so we get the sound of the moon, and we get the sound of hot plugs, and we get the sound of the different planets that we're playing on that planetary hour. Now, guys like Roger, that any of you that read and write, take a look at this chart once in a while. And the moon hour, I think we started late, so that we'll probably start playing the moon hour. It's 8:45 now. Yeah, we're in the moon hour now, and that's G sharp and A flat. So, you know, those that know G sharp and A flat, when they hear it, sound it out once in a while. And Roger was up to the point of figuring, why can't you get a little moon tune, a little sun tune to where at least those changes and pull people back into it. And the slide will be on there. And sync the planet, and feel free to play these instruments, you know, that you'll get a nice musical release, because the lights will be out, so you don't have to worry if you don't think you play good or nothing like that. You'll see you'll really get off with the music. It just plays itself. If we stick to the planetary hour system and do that, we'll be going into the moon. Bye.